Sudheendra Kulkarni of former Pakistan Foreign Minister Khurshid Mahmood Qasuri. Now the Shiv Sena has been opposing this book launch, saying that Khurshid Mahmood Qasuri has made anti-India remarks in the past and therefore a red carpet should not be rolled out for such a man. They have also termed Sudheendra Kulkarni as a Pakistan agent. Let me go across to consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai for more details. Rajdeep, clearly Aaditya Thackeray is making a point there, saying that that Shiv Sena believes that the attack on Sudheendra Kulkarni this morning was non-violent in nature.
Well, obviously, Mr. Aaditya Thackeray's definition of violence and non-violence seems to differ with most right-thinking Indians. If throwing black ink on someone is not a violent act, then I don't know what is. Are we saying that only killing someone with an AK-47 represents a violent act? I think clearly Mr. Thackeray is endorsing what his Shiv Seniks have done. And that is the troubling fact, because as we've been saying since morning, the Shiv Sena is no longer even an opposition party. It's a party in government. And the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, had promised full security for this function. So questions will be raised, Maha, as to whether Aaditya Thackeray is effectively saying that the Shiv Seniks have the right to resort to what most of us would believe is an act of violence by throwing ink on someone as a mark of protest.
And Rajdeep, what are the grounds on which the Shiv Sena is opposing this book launch of Khurshid Mahmood Qasuri? What are the points that they are making so vehemently?
Let us be fair to the Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena has always said that they oppose cultural exchanges with Pakistan. They believe that so long as there is terror on the border, they believe you cannot have terror and cultural exchanges coexisting. The question is, the BJP government, both at the centre and in Maharashtra, seems to have taken a very different position. Therefore, the Shiv Sena has to make up its mind. Does it want to be part of this government which takes this kind of an approach towards Pakistan? Is the Shiv Sena basically catering to its core constituency, which it believes is rabidly anti-Pakistan? And with elections, municipal elections in Maharashtra in 15 months and several important local elections in the next few months, is the Shiv Sena merely playing politics, or is it emphasizing that it remains the party which is committed towards zero tolerance towards any exchange with Pakistan? So clearly the Shiv Sena, this is not new.
Right.
They've done this for years and they want to maintain their distinct identity, one gets the sense, vis-a-vis the BJP.
Rajdeep, in the open letter that Aaditya Thackeray has written for you, is he making a distinction between why they opposed Ghulam Ali's concert and why they are opposing Khurshid Mahmood Qasuri's book launch in Mumbai?
I don't think they're making any real distinction. I think their approach is more or less similar. No exchanges with Pakistan. No Pakistani should be allowed to come to Mumbai and be invited for any function, be it then a book function or a music concert. I think to that extent they are being consistent. My question to them is quite simply this, that do they really believe that by cancelling a music concert or cancelling a book release, they are really able to send a message that puts Pakistan on the back foot, or does it simply give Pakistan an opportunity to score propaganda points by suggesting that Mumbaikars are intolerant? And the other question is, can the Shiv Sena arrogate for itself the authority to speak for every Mumbaikar? Are they a political party or are they acting as a local militia? Now, these are questions that Aaditya Thackeray unfortunately does not answer in the letter. In fact, he goes to the extent of likening the Shiv Sena's approach to Pakistan to the approach the world had towards South Africa during the apartheid years, calling therefore for a complete isolation of Pakistan. Now, that clearly doesn't go with what the government of India wants, where the government of India not too long ago at the UFA summit had spoken about deepening cultural relations and actually fighting terror jointly.
Rajdeep, on the face of it, it appears like any protest that the Shiv Sena has held in the past. But take us through the underlying message in this protest, because somewhere the Chief Minister of Maharashtra here, Devendra Fadnavis, seems to have been cornered.
Look, Maha, in the last few months, the Shiv Sena-BJP relations have remained very precarious in Maharashtra. This is an uneasy alliance. Yes, they've been allies for over 26 years, but the alliance has become an increasingly uneasy one since the BJP is in power and the Shiv Sena is only a junior partner. The Shiv Sena is chafing at the bit. They believe that they are not being given their due within the government. Repeatedly in the Samna, the Shiv Sena has even attacked Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So I get a sense that all of this is an indicative of how difficult an alliance this is. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra is saying he will guarantee full security both to Ghulam Ali and to Khurshid Kasuri. The Shiv Sena, on the other hand, saying they will not allow any of them to enter Maharashtra. So clearly this alliance is at the moment going through a period of some kind of turmoil, and you will therefore find it reflected time and again in its approach to critical issues. Today it's in the context of Pakistan. The next day they could well find some other issue to maintain their distinct identity. We saw that recently, if you remember, during the beef ban and the meat ban issue in Mumbai, where the Shiv Sena went on the streets protesting the meat ban, again, which had actually the sanction, in a sense, of the BJP. So you're seeing both the sides increasingly moving away from each other. There won't be any breakup, there won't be any divorce, but clearly this is a bad marriage at the moment.
Shiv Sena acting like the opposition for the BJP in Maharashtra, even though they are in alliance. Rajdeep, I'll request you to stay on with us. Columnist Dilip Padgaonkar is also now joining us on the phone line. Sir, Aditya Thackeray is terming the attack by the Shiv Senics this morning on Sudheendra Kulkarni, where they smeared black ink on him, as a non-violent way of communicating their message.
Well, I think Aditya Thackeray needs to look up the Oxford Dictionary to understand the meaning of non-violence. Any physical harm to any person is tantamount to violence. This morning, when they poured ink on Sudheendra Kulkarni, they harmed him physically. And that, in the eyes of a small child studying the English language, would know is an act of violence. So I don't know whether Aditya Thackeray is being too clever by half, or whether, honestly, he's unaware of English grammar and syntax and spelling and meaning.
Sir, Shiv Sena also continues to say that they will continue their protest against the book launch of Khurshid Mahmood Kasuri in Mumbai. Are you predicting some sort of a difficult situation there that the Chief Minister has been confronted with in Maharashtra?
The Shiv Sena has every right to protest. The real question is, will these protests be within the ambit of the law? Or will they be taking the law in their own hands to register their protest? What they did to Sudheendra Kulkarni was clearly a violation of law. So when they say their protest will continue, I say, go ahead, make your protest, but make sure you don't take the law in your own hands.
So many thanks for speaking with India Today. Let me now go across to editor Shiv Arur for more details into this entire situation that is developing very rapidly in Mumbai at the moment. Shiv, first there was a message which almost indicated that the Shiv Sena is taking back its protest, and minutes later we saw Sanjay Raut come out and vehemently deny those messages, saying that the Shiv Sena stands by its protest. What are we likely to see at the Nehru Centre just a short while from now? Because there is no clarity. Security has been beefed up, but the Shiv Sena continues to say that they will protest.
Well, Sanjay Raut didn't have a clear answer when he was asked a direct question about whether that protest was actually going to continue once that book is launched in Mumbai, just a few minutes from now, Maha. So obviously the Shiv Sena is a little uncertain, it's a bit of a tricky situation for it. They have been forced to climb back, but obviously they're being petulant at this stage and they're not quite sure whether to continue, put up a brave face, ambush Chief Minister Fadnavis, put the spotlight on him, which are all things that they have done at this point of time. But they're trying to figure out how to actually save face and save a situation, make this not look like they've been shown their place and forced into a kind of embarrassing climb down. But the crucial point right now is Aditya Thackeray, the scion of the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, the executive president of the Shiv Sena's son, has come out, and in this open letter he's actually virtually justified what happened to Sudheendra Kulkarni. And this is perhaps the most direct, most explicit justification for what is an act of violence. I just want to show you and show our viewers a bit of what he's actually said. I've got this out for you. This is an excerpt, Maha, that our viewers can see off that Facebook page of Aditya Thackeray, where he says, non-violent incidents like the ink shed on some by a certain few parties would anger you to tag it as violence, but otherwise it would be democratic and historic. So basically you've got Aditya Thackeray saying the ink attack on Sudheendra Kulkarni was democratic and historic. Ink spilt may be more violent for you than its intent to protest against all the innocent blood spilt on the streets of Mumbai, Jammu and Kashmir, every city that has faced Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. So basically, what you've got is the Shiv Sena and now Aaditya Thackeray, the boss really of the party de facto, saying that the ink was nothing compared to the blood of martyrs that has been spilt. You know, whipping up this kind of emotional metaphor as far as Pakistan-sponsored terror is concerned in trying to justify this act. But very interestingly, Maha, also saying that this wasn't a violent act. Right. It was non-violent and democratic, which is, you know, preposterous, given that this was obviously an ambush on Sudheendra Kulkarni that actually took place. So with this kind of top-level endorsement coming, you know, from a Thackeray, the Shiv Sena's foot soldiers have been put in a sort of tricky position. They've backed off, but what do they actually do next? And that book's going to be launched any moment now. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether they continue their protest, whether they do what they actually did before, or whether this is a full-scale tactical retreat as far as the Thackeray and the Shiv Sena.
Right. In fact, Shiv, I want to put that question to Rajdeep. Now, Rajdeep, does the tone and tenor of the letter and the condoning of the act that the Shiv Senics did in the morning of smearing black ink on Sudheendra Kulkarni by Aaditya Thackeray give you a sense of what we can expect when the book is launched this evening in Mumbai?
Look, over the years, Maha, the Shiv Sena's bark has sometimes been worse than its bite. Yes, you had occasions like, for example, when they dug up a cricket pitch in Mumbai in the early 90s and went ahead with their protests. Occasions where they have resorted to violence against journalists, against intellectuals, against anyone who shows the right, who exhibits the right to dissent or disagree with them. Whether in this instance, given the strong words of the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, they can actually go ahead and disrupt an event, there's a huge question mark. It's not just the Shiv Sena which is so much at test now. It's Devendra Fadnavis and the Mumbai police which is in a sense on test at the moment. The Chief Minister has promised full security. The Mumbai police at the end of the day has to play its role as law enforcer. Can you allow a party which is in government to play the role of lawbreaker? This is the question that Devendra Fadnavis today is confronted with, and this is the question the Mumbai police is confronted with. And I think they will have to respond to Aaditya Thackeray. I know I sparked this off with a letter that I wrote to him this morning. He has now responded. I am tempted to respond to him with another letter. At the end of the day, letter writing between me and Mr. Aaditya Thackeray is welcome. I think what is unwelcome and unacceptable is that resorting to any form of violence. I hope that the Shiv Senics realize the spirit of Aaditya Thackeray in writing letters and not throwing black ink and then justifying it as democratic and historic and non-violent.
Actually, Aaditya Thackeray perhaps has in some sense shown the Shiv Senics that there is a better use that you can put ink to rather than smearing it at somebody. Many thanks, Rajdeep, for joining us with that perspective. Hours after an ink attack on Sudheendra Kulkarni, Shiv Sena staged a conditional climb down. Sena has written to the Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis saying that the Chief Minister should intervene and not allow the program of Khurshid Mahmood Kasuri's book launch in Mumbai to take place. Putting the ball in the Maharashtra Chief Minister's court now, the Shiv Sena added that there should not be any anti-India remark during the book event. Shiv Senics had thrown ink, remember, on Sudheendra Kulkarni this morning ahead of the book launch of former Pakistan Foreign Minister. This ink attack came after the Observer Research Foundation invited former Pakistan Foreign Minister for the book launch in Mumbai.
आज सुबह से आपने शिव सेना का रूप भी देखा है, आयोजन करने वालों की हालत आपने देखी है, उनका मुंह काला हो गया है। आपके सभी के मोबाइल के ऊपर एक मैसेज घूम रहा है कि शिवसेना ने अपना आंदोलन मुख्यमंत्री की मध्यस्थता के बाद स्थगित किया है। ये सरासर झूठ है, ये सरासर गलत है। इस प्रकार का कोई निर्णय शिवसेना ने नहीं लिया है। आज भी शिवसेना अपनी भूमिका पे ठाम है।
Amrita Shedge is now joining us with more details from Mumbai on that rapidly developing story. Amrita, what do we make of Sanjay Raut's press conference? Now, is the Shiv Sena likely to be protesting outside the Nehru Centre as well?
In the press conference, Sanjay Raut did not give the clear answer whether the protest will go on or not, but he had clearly said that we are against the book launch and we will not allow it to happen. This is what he had said. I'll tell you the 3 very important points he had made in Marathi. He had clearly said that we are against all the Pakistani citizens, whether they are cricketers, whether they are singers, whether they are any artists or politicians. The day Pakistan will stop attacking India, attacking our soldiers, we will stop our protest also. That is what he had said when answering the questions related to Ghulam Ali. He had also said that when asked what is the meaning of Atithi Devo Bhava, we always say that this is our value. He had said, who is the Atithi here? Who is the guest here? We did not invite any person from Pakistan, and so we are not, we will not welcome any Pakistani ex-minister here. We are opposing this entire program, and we will not allow this program to happen at the Nehru Center. That's what Sanjay Raut had clearly said in the press conference. But when asked about the next move or the next step of Shiv Sena, whether they will be protesting outside Nehru Center or not, he had said that that is not clear. We will not give that information to media. Earlier also, we had not communicated with media, but the attack took place, the ink attack took place on Sudheendra Kulkarni. So we are not telling this what we are doing in future. And what step we are taking, we will not be telling this to media, but definitely we will be opposing this entire program. That's what he had said in the press conference.
In just a short while from now, that book launch is set to take place at the Nehru Center. The Shiv Sena hasn't made it clear as to how they're going to go ahead with their protest, but has made it amply clear that their protest does stay. Many thanks, Amruta, for joining us with those details. Consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai spoke exclusively with Sudheendra Kulkarni after the ink smearing incident. Let's listen in.
I am well, Rajdeep. I am perfectly well.
The other point is that I want to congratulate you on your bravery. You've been extremely brave in the manner which you've handled this entire situation. So kudos to you for that. But tell me, are you still a little bit rattled, surprised by what happened this morning?
No, I am neither rattled nor surprised, because the Shiv Sena had already made its intent known. They had written a letter to our co-organizer, that is Nehru Center, where the program is going to take place this evening, and I want to tell you that the program will indeed take place. And the letter had made it clear that if we do not cancel it, they would disturb it, disrupt it, in Shiv Sena style. So the Shiv Sena style, they have done it, and I hear that perhaps this is a saumya, a mild way of expressing their outrage. Maybe they have something else in mind, I don't know. But I am not rattled, I am not surprised, nor am I deterred, afraid. We are in public life. We are working for a noble cause. There is nothing selfish about it, and we are prepared to face the consequences.
Now the main objection that the Shiv Sena still seems to have is that your act of releasing Mr. Kasuri's book in Mumbai is deliberately provocative. Mr. Kasturi was foreign minister when a number of cross-border terror attacks took place on this country, and therefore A, you should be more sensitive, they say, to their concerns or the concerns of Indians who feel strongly about Pak-based terror, and B, that your act is provocative. How do you respond to this argument about sentiments and sensitivities being hurt?
Rajdeep, yesterday Satish Sani, the CEO of Nehru Center, and I went and met Shri Uddhav Thackeray, and I told him, and in fact it was part of a press release that we had put out yesterday, that we share the concern of all patriotic Indians, we share the concern of even the Shiv Sena, concern and outrage at the terrorist activities perpetrated by Pakistan-based groups. And I told Uddhav Thackeray that your concern and your anger is something that I fully share. We must put an end to terrorism in all its forms, and there can be no compromise whatsoever in the fight against terrorism. But I also made it clear to him that our government and our army, the armed forces, are quite capable of countering this menace. The victory will come tomorrow, day after, but they are quite capable. That does not mean, I have told Uddhav Thackeray, that there should be absolutely no exchange of people between India and Pakistan. That no Indian artist, intellectual, political personality, others can go to Pakistan and no one from Pakistan should come here. I mean, that is not the stand that is approved by a majority of Indians.